Thank you. I guess where should I start? I'll start at the beginning. I'll start at the beginning. From the time I became aware that there were boys and girls and that there were differences in boys and girls, I felt different from the other boys. Not quite like the girls. I felt like I was sort of somewhere in the middle. That became my personal, sort of private secret. But I continued on my journey with my own little private secrets. And along the way, I made a declaration when I was very young, probably 12, 13 or so, when I realized what names were applied to how I felt and how some people treated people who were like I am. I decided that people who could accept me could go through life with me and everyone else could go to hell, and that I would live a normal life. So along the way, back to my story, along the way, I kind of continued quietly with my own secret, and then one night I was going to visit my grandmother. I lived in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta. If you're going down 7585 South, it's the community closest to the University Avenue exit. And a voice said, "Hey." And I looked over and he said, "Come here." So I went over and there sat Billy Heflin, the first kind of really gay person I met that looked normal. He had on normal clothing. His hair didn't look like the cat had been licking it or any of that. And so we started a friendship, and I would go up to visit him. He told me, he said, "I know who you are, and I know where you're going. You're going to visit your grandmother." My grandmother lived just a half block away from him. The term used for her living situation there was she was shacking up with Mr. Ed Gordon. So, and then sometimes my girlfriends and I would go to clubs around the city, and if the drinks took too long to come, we knew they were going to put us out, usually because of me, because I was oftentimes older than them, but I often looked a lot younger. I didn't really have to shave until I was 30. I think I finally look my age now. But for many, I was just me, and just my normal self, and that's how I proceeded through life. As time passed, I started to, well, as visiting Robert Hodges here. In those days, there was a walkway. This walkway led to a room at the back of the house where Hodges' room was. But on Sundays, the main family in the house would go away for the entire day, and we would have a run of the house. And I would come, and we would sit on this same jolly seat front porch with nice porch furniture when the weather was warm. They would buy crème de menthe and crème de cocoa to serve me, and we would have hors d'oeuvres. They would buy the weaker or something for me because I was the younger, more delicate one. They thought. But to get back to this point, visiting this house for me was like stepping into the pages of a magazine out of the dreary surroundings we lived in the Pittsburgh community. The house was nicely appointed. This was a very fashionable street. Down the street, 2 or 3 houses down, Bishop H.I. Bearden lived with his family, and his son, Lord. Imagine that, they named him Lord. His son, Lord, would come up here on Sunday afternoons with his boyfriend, James. And I think the family probably said, "Oh, Lord," when they found all of that out. But it was very nice. But one thing that coming here taught me is that to be a gay person, that I didn't have to be one of those tormented hybrid creatures that I first saw. That I could live my life in the sun. I could live in wonderful surroundings. I could really be like a normal person who just happened to be gay. And that's how I've lived my life. I'm at a very good place in my life, a place I never expected to be. And largely because of lessons I learned here in this house, visiting with Robert Hodges, and I'll say a little bit more about Billy Heflin I met, the first gay person I met. Billy was so notorious in the neighborhood that little kids would speak to him, would say, "Hey, Sissy Billy," because they thought that was his name. And he's gone. All of the Jolly 12 members are gone, but I'm still here and glad to still be marching with my new set of friends.